The next step is to deploy virtual replication appliances onto each hypervisor host that we're going to be replicating from and to. This is easily done from the Zerto Virtual Manager interface by clicking on the Setup tab. You can see a list of all of the hypervisor hosts registered to the vCenter or System Center. Click on the first host and then click New VRA. First, you can specify whether to use root credentials or not to connect to the host, which is needed for any host prior to version 6. To demonstrate that, I'll just enter the root password here. If you're running vSphere 6 onwards, you don't need to enter that root password. Then we set a data store in which to store the appliance OS files. This needs around 12 gig of space, can be a local or a shared data store. Then we specify a port group for the replication traffic, which we recommended be a dedicated port group if you're protecting more than 30 plus VMs. Then you specify the RAM for the appliance. 1 to 4 gig of RAM for this appliance is enough for 95% of environments. If you've got an extremely high I/O write rate, then you can bump this all the way up to 16 gigabytes if required. The VRA group should be created if you're protecting and replicating between multiple data centers in the same vCenter. If you're just going between vCenters or system centers, you don't need VRA groups. Then we need the IP information. This can be DHCP, and we recommend a reserved IP, or you can just set a static IP as you see here. We click install, and with no maintenance mode, no downtime, Zerto is going to automatically deploy the VRA to the host, create all the HA and DRS rules to tie that appliance to the host, because you need one on each host in the clusters that you're replicating from and to. So as you vMotion VMs, Zerto can carry on replicating and protecting. At this point, I can start deploying my next appliance in the cluster. I can also automate this entire process end-to-end using the REST API if I don't want to use the interface at all. And it's the exact same process for deploying a replication appliance in a Hyper-V environment too, except I don't need to specify any root credentials. It's just using all the credentials that I use for the System Center service account when deploying the Zerto Manager. Once you've deployed all the VRAs, you might want to control how much bandwidth Zerto is going to use. So that's done from site settings, performance and throttling. And here you can set a site-wide limit, and you can also configure it on a time-based throttle. Once you've deployed all these appliances, then the next step is configuring and protecting the virtual machines, done by creating virtual protection groups, or you might want to install Zerto as a cloud appliance and replicate to AWS or Azure.